recording this lesson. Don't say anything stupid because it will pick you up. In the hope that somebody who's absent will watch it, which doesn't happen, but then I can say, hey, did you watch the video?
So wait, we're being recorded to who?
I post this to your Google Classroom.
And then it brings
Hey, why are you just going to school?
Okay. Indeed. Okay. We're going to talk about lesson 4.4, part 2. So part 1 is all about making scatter plots and making lines of fit, which you guys, when you make your scatter plot, you guys are drawing good lines of fit, okay? And you just have to write the equation for them, which is what you're supposed to practice, and I will not rant about that again. What we're going to talk about today is a little bit harder, but I'm going to give you a way that you're going to do it that should make it easier, okay? What we're talking about today is how to interpret the slope and the y-intercept. So what does the word interpret mean? Do you know?
I've heard the word before.
Okay, so the word interpret means to tell what something means. So if I was going to put this in a little more friendly, I would say, like on the paper, on your quiz and stuff, it will say interpret the slope and the y-intercept. So the word interpret means tell what it means. Okay, so it's really easy for us in math to just be like, oh, we're crunching some numbers, and that's good, right? We're like doing up the math, and we get some numbers, we get some answers. We want to know, though, what does the slope and the y-intercept tell us about a situation, okay? So I'm going to give us a couple examples that are going to be easier, and then we're going to get into some ones that are a little bit harder. Go ahead, Camden. So let's say we have the equation y equals 1.5x. We'll just go y equals 1.5x. So first of all, what number is the slope? Yeah. How do we know? This is just, I know we talk about this a lot, but how do we know that's the slope? It's got the x. So I'm going to tell you, I have to tell you these things or it won't make sense. That y is going to be the total cost, and x is going to be the number of donuts I buy at Wesco, or muffins, or cookies. Okay, so number of treats at Wesco. Now, because I'm giving you a story, quote unquote, a story, right? I'm giving you that y and x actually have some meaning. They're not y and x. Then we need to be able to know what the slope and the y-intercept tells us. What's the y-intercept on this, by the way? 0, because there is no number there. So the y-intercept is 0. So the way that we want to do this every time, okay? So I'm going to be pretty firm about this. When I ask you to tell me what the slope means, you're going to fill out a sentence. So I'm going to give you the sentence. Every time you're going to write it, you don't write the sentence, you don't get the points. It's pretty much what we're going to come down to. Okay, so this is the sentence. Put a big star by it. So the slope means that for every 1, that's the number 1, and we're going to have a blank there, goes up there should be a the in here. Another blank goes up blank. Okay, so this sentence, that's in purple, It looks like bloop to you, maybe, but it's perfect. That sentence you're going to use every time I ask you about slope. Okay? So I gotta know what the blanks are, because you can't leave blanks. You won't get that right. That would be bad. No, it was 6! 6 minutes. Okay, so what goes in the first is the Y thing with units.
No, I left that 31.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what goes in the first blank. The Y thing with the units. The Y thing.
Would you write that in the blank, or should we just write it above?
I'll write it above because you're going to be filling that in every time, right?
Okay.
This one is going to be the X thing with units. No, I screwed it up. This is the X thing. All right, just make your Y into an X. It's fine. This is the Y thing with units. And this is the slope number with units. All right, so let me show you how this works. I'll write this. If I say to you on a quiz, what does the slope mean in this situation? Or I would say, interpret the slope. I would write, the slope means that for every one, that is guaranteed. You got to put that in the sentence. The slope means that for every one, Now, I'll slow down so you can write it. What's the X thing? Okay, so number of donuts bought, like literally you fill in the whole X thing. The number of donuts bought, that's the blank. Woo. See, that's this thing right here. Goes up. I don't need units. What's the Y thing? Total cost. There's the Y thing, goes in there. Goes up. What's the slope? 1.5. Now let's talk about the units. This is the one I want the units on. Okay, let me tell you how to do the units for slope. And I'll make a little note down here, up here. Slope units are Y units divided by X units. Sounds kind of sciencey, doesn't it? Like you talk about units a lot in science. Okay, so what do we measure total cost in? I forgot the up here, sorry. Up. Dollars per, this is kind of sound like a dumb question, but I'm going to answer it, ask it anyway. What do we measure number of donuts in? Donuts. Bites. Just donuts, right? Donuts. Okay, so this tells me, the slope tells me that for every one, the number of donuts bought goes up. So every time I buy another donut, the total cost goes up $1.50 per donut. Okay, now, I gotta think about this. This is not my favorite way to do this. It really isn't. So I'm going to give you an option. Ooh, this makes me nervous. Okay. This is option 1. is to learn the sentence. Some people cannot do the other way that I'm going to tell you. So that's why I am going to give you 2. Okay. Option 2 is to start with the slope units. Okay. So slope units, which is up here, again, is y units divided by x units. Okay. So our y units were dollars. This is a division sign. And then we're measuring donuts in donuts. And you translate this into, this line gets translated into the word per. So when you write it, it's the slope is 1.5, and then you put this into words. Dollars per donut. That's what the slope tells you. This is easier to me. This is the way I would prefer to teach it, but some people cannot do that for some reason. I don't like the sentence. It's too many words. Okay, so let's try another one here. Let me give you another example. Yeah.
So say it was like feet per minute, would we do like 6 feet per minute?
Mhm.
Okay.
Let's say, let me see if I can give you an example about that. So let's say, so we're going to go to science class because you guys are, I know a lot of you are in, how many of you are in physics, fundamentals of physics right now? Okay, so you guys are doing motion and stuff, right? Okay, so let's say, no, I don't want to do that. Let me use one of the ones that we did yesterday. Okay, so let's say we have, okay, number 2, you don't have to get it back out, but number 2 said a student earns money from a part-time job. Okay, we've got the equation y equals 18x. X was number of hours. And y is total earnings in dollars. Okay, let's start with option 2, okay? Because option 2 I think is better. I really do. I really think it's better, but you got to be able to put it into a sentence-ish thing. Okay, so first of all, what is the slope? 18. Slope is 18. Okay. Now let's talk about the slope units. What are the units for y? Dollars. And we know it's got a slash. And then what are the units for x? Okay. Now there's dollars slash hours. I'm going to put that into words. So this is $18 per hour. Yes. What does that now that's still a little mathy, but let's talk real life. What does that tell you about the student earning money? You're making $18 per hour, right? So this is a correct answer. If you can, on a quiz or a test, if you can be like, oh, I know what that means. That's their wages per hour, right? That's what they get paid. If you want to say this is what they get paid per hour, that's going to get you an extra credit point. Okay, because this is the very basic what I want you to do. They earn $18 per hour. This is a little bit more specific. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. Let's do okay. So number 7 on your paper was about a book club. Okay, so we've got a book club. It gains members every month. It starts with some members and then gains more per month. Okay, and the equation was y equals 3x plus 12. X is the number of months. And Y is number of members.
Wait, does that say gains more per month?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I went into some cursive there. It gains more per month. Okay, so first question, what's the slope? 3. Okay, so it's all, slope is y over x, you guys, and you know that because the slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It's y's over x's. So what is the y? Like if we're talking about members, what's the units of that? People. Yeah, it's people. Okay, and there's my line. This is gonna sound like a dumb question. What are we measuring months in? Months. Months are months, right? That's our X thing. Okay. So if we write this now as a nice kind of sentencey thing, what is this slope telling me about the book club?
It takes 3 months for 12 people to join.
No.
3 people per month.
They get 3 people per, remember, people per month. That means 3 new people are coming to their book club every month. Okay, and here's where you get that from. We write people, that line means per, and months are measured in months. And it should be singular, that's my fault. Measured months in months. Okay, one more, and then we'll talk about y-intercept. And we'll use the same,
Why didn't we use the 12 for anything?
okay?
How were you not that?
No, he didn't. Okay, what is the 12? Not what does it mean?
The number of members.
Hang on. Okay, just a second. I got to figure out how to ask my question. Is the 12 the slope or the y-intercept? Okay, we haven't talked about y-intercept yet.
Oh.
That's why.
So eventually we will.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll come back and talk about him in a minute. Okay, so we've got a taxi. This is the first one on your paper. So the taxi company charges a flat fee. That would be, we'll say it charges a pickup fee. And then a cost per mile. Okay, so we're talking about what does the slope mean? First of all, you gotta know what the slope is. What's the slope? Okay, so it's 250. And it's the y units. So what would the y units be? I'll still do it y was. Y is total cost. What are we measuring that in? Dollars, because you live in America. Dollars divided by miles. Miles are measured in miles. So it's just singular, though. Again, that's my fault. Now look, you can look at that. If I write this out, it's $250, which dollars goes in the front of the 250. What's the slash mean? Per mile. So what is this? 250 per mile. That's how much it costs per mile, right? That is how much it costs to ride in the taxi for 1 mile, $2.50. Okay? That's what the slope tells you. Now, let's go back and talk about y-intercept. We're going to use the same 4 things, but we'll talk y-intercept. I'll put them on a different page. Okay, y-intercept is, I just got to think about the easy, guys, I want to make it easy for you. Y-intercept is this. And this is what the y thing is. Okay, y-intercept is what the y thing is when x equals 0. And you should probably put the x thing here. This should be the x thing. I don't think there's any easier way to do this one. Okay, so if we go back to my first one, which was donuts at Wesco. So x was number of donuts and y was total cost. So I'll wait a second because you guys are probably still writing. Okay. What was the y-intercept? We said that already. What's the y-intercept? 0. Right. There's no number with it. There's no other number in there. 150 is the slope. There's 0. So 0 is, what's the y thing? Total cost. So let's see. Y-intercept is 0, which is the total cost when what? So $0. When, what's the x thing? Donuts. So it's the total cost when the number of donuts is 0. Now, that's the mathy way, like that's you fill in the blank. If you want to put this in real life language for me, you're going to say, if you don't buy any donuts, you don't pay any dollars. Okay, that's reasonable. Let's talk about this one. So we're going to talk y-intercept again. The equation was y equals 18x, I think. That was our second one. X was the number of hours worked. Y was, I don't remember what I wrote. Earnings. Okay. What's the y-intercept? 0 again. This one's, guys, these ones are easy, and so that's why we're going to do some that are a little bit harder. Okay. 0, what's that tell me? $0. This is dollars because this is y. Y-intercept is the y thing, so it's dollars. $0 is how much money you earned. That's the y thing. For 0 hours worked. That's the x thing. Okay, those ones make sense, which is like, I don't want to say it like this is going to sound mean. They make sense. They don't require as much thinking. When you get to the PSAT, they ask you questions like this. They give you weird ones. So we're going to have to learn how to do this with some that don't always make sense. So let's say we have y equals 3x plus 12. This was our book club thing. So some people start a book club, and then they get more members as they go. So x was number of months. Y was number of people. So what's the y-intercept? 12. Now, 12 is the y-intercept. So this tells me what's the y thing. So 12 people when, what's the X thing?
When 12 people every month.
Nope.
I mean, when
Months equals 0. Okay, so if the months equals 0, that's another way of saying when you started. So when something is 0, when we're talking about these, it's a way of saying when did it start. So what this is this is the 12 people that started the book club. Book club started with 12 people. And then that 3 tells you that they get 3 people every month. Okay, let's talk about the taxi. So that's still on my same page up here. We've got y equals 250x plus 4. Remember what I said, the taxi charged a pickup fee and a cost per mile. X was miles and y was dollars. Okay, what's the y-intercept? 4. So it's $4 because it's y-intercept, $4 when, what is X thing is miles? When miles equals 0. Okay, so talk to me about, like, that's mathy. It would be acceptable on a test. But what's that tell you?
You have to pay $4 just to
Yes, that's their pickup fee. You have to pay $4 to get in the taxi, and then they're going to charge you $2.50 a mile. That's the pickup fee. Elijah, just tuck the bottom, like push the bottom drawer in, and it'll work. Okay. So this is a pickup fee. Like if Izzy on a test said, like, you write this as $4 when the miles is 0, you're going to get your points. You're going to get extra credit if you say this is what they charge you just to get in the taxi cab. That's right. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, I have a bunch more of these that we need to practice because this is something that confuses people. But, what? Ooh, I don't have a lot of them. Where are they? I have a lot of them. So let me pass these out to you so that you have these for Monday. Oh, I think I just miscounted.
Are they due Monday or when?
Yeah.
When are they due?
No, it's not Monday. Oh, you're moving on today. Did you say that?
I'm going to be.
Okay, this is not, listen to me, not homework, I just want you to put it in your folder. Some of you use the book of filing cabinet. Hold on to this, please, so that we have it first thing on Monday. Okay, first thing on Monday.